problem at all. Check out work, but everybody is now safely at work, and the road crews are out clearing. And the traffic so far is light, and that's good. People shouldn't be traveling about. But we do have some problems of some blowing snow on the Northway there, in some areas, especially north of Albany. And on the Northway, 2 lanes are clear. One is still snow covered, and there's a little bit of blowing snow north of Albany County, as I mentioned. And a good thing is that there's very light traffic, so there's no major problems for those of you headed on the Northway, Jim.
All right, Mark, just one thing for you. Mr. Stan Katz, I believe he is your father-in-law, called from Columbus, Ohio, and he says if you're not sick of shoveling snow there in Albany, you can jump on over to Columbus and shovel his driveway.
Only if he gives me pool privileges in the summertime.
Okay, we'll pass that along to you if he's not watching. Thanks a lot, Mark. Again, folks, in Albany, several inches of snow, over a foot now on the ground. It's still snowing, as Mark mentioned. And in Boston, a new record, a new single-season snowfall record in Boston. What did it look like as it started to come down yesterday in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? Well, folks are saying, all right, I'm just going to have to deal with another storm here in whatever way I choose to deal with it. And they had about 5 inches of snow on the ground before the sun even set in Boston. Another few overnight. Now nearly 8, 9 inches of snow on the ground with another band of snow moving into the city. What does that look like? And how much snow is still falling with respect to this storm? Well, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on the radar this morning, and we'll show you exactly what's going on. You can see here, again, as I mentioned, our surface low heading offshore, and the trailing cold front continues to swing on down through Florida. Actually, it's probably a little farther south than that at this point. But nonetheless, the moisture still wrapping into the storm. And now with the upper level system, the upper level storm, if you want to call it that, moving overhead, we are squeezing out the last bits of juice here. And as they are squeezed out, occasionally visibility is dropping down to a half mile, even a quarter of a mile. Believe it or not, even still in Marietta, Georgia, they're reporting a little light snow. This morning, we did see some bands of snow come on down into the south, in which visibilities went down to a half a mile in some cases. Just a little dusting here or there, just enough to make people scurry to the grocery stores, but no big deal across the south here with regards to the snow. As you can see here, we'll close in on the northeast. You can still see it snowing around Albany. Here's Concord, Boston seeing the snow now, Portland, Bangor, still some heavier snow bursts out there, especially across interior Mass. And to get an idea of what this area looks like, let's show you the Doppler, one of our favorite toys here at the channel. And you can get an idea where some of these heavier bands of snow are and continue to exist. And they're kind of filling in around the Boston area as we speak. So still some more snow, maybe a couple of inches of Arctic fluff, as we like to call it, moving into the area before things are all said and done. Notice the current temperatures, pretty chilly out there. The isotherm of 10 degrees or colder. Right in through here, you can see the line of constant temperature showing a lot of cold air out there, folks. And in the east, in the south, now that it's nearly 11:30, you're still talking about teens and 20s in March. You know it is going to be a cold day. There's 15 in Nashville, 26 degrees in Atlanta. Winds are howling now, and some of these areas that have received heavy snowfall in the northeast are going to see considerable blowing and drifting of that snow through the afternoon. So it's not over, even though the snow may taper off a little bit. Wind chills, look at this, big-time wind chills up to the north, but in the south, where spring flowers have already come on out, wind chills of 2 below, 4, 22 in Houston, 6 in Nashville. Just not making it feel too good. And for the folks in Panama City Beach enjoying spring break, that 11 must feel pretty nasty. But remembering back to our college days, whether it's 11 above or 74 above, it just doesn't matter. It's going to be a good time anyway. Well, what's cooking for the rest of the nation, and is Florida out of the woods after this cold snap? Let's go talk to Janine Diadamo in the studio and find out.
All righty, Jim, thanks. We take a look at Friday afternoon, and we see high pressure again. Jim showed you those falling temperatures, the northerly winds pushing on into Florida, hard freeze warning in effect for much of north central Florida. And then we head up to the northeast. We see more flurries throughout the afternoon. Now, overnight, they would gradually decrease so that by Saturday morning, we only have a few flurries left over and not a lot of accumulation after tonight. In the west, though, another cold front pushing on into the California, Washington, and Oregon coast. And throughout the afternoon, we'll see the rains spreading on through the Cascades, the coastal ranges, and down on into San Francisco. A few rain showers. High pressure, though, throughout the afternoon. That'll keep temperatures very chilly. The sun will come out, though, in the south, so it'll warm us up a little bit. But many readings in North Carolina will probably see some record lows in the morning, and during the afternoon, still some very dangerously low wind chill conditions. Well, this is what the snow measures to, about 1/2 of an inch of precipitation in the liquid form. But in terms of snowfall, 1 to 3 inches mostly by tomorrow morning in New York State, and it gradually increases as you head on up into northern and southern New England. All right, high temperatures today. These don't look like highs. These look like lows. We have teens from Chicago over towards Cleveland and Pittsburgh, New York City in the 20s for highs today. Atlanta also probably won't even get up to 30. We'll see about that throughout the afternoon. 30s also for Dallas, 40s for much of north central Florida. Overnight, look at this. The single digits reaching on into Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, maybe even Atlanta, Georgia, and on up through Asheville, North Carolina. Cold air is settling on in, so keep that in mind overnight. Bring in all your plants that you can. Of course, bring in the pets, and just be very careful tomorrow during the daytime to dress in layers, because even Saturday, our high temperatures only reaching the 30s and much of the deep south, 40s towards the Gulf Coast. But the west will remain very warm from western Texas all the way to the desert southwest around Palm Springs, California, temperatures in the 90s. And gradually we'll start to warm up first in the west and then eventually in the east. But not before the cold air settles itself along around Savannah up to Myrtle Beach. This will be real cold for the spring breakers. High temperatures in the 30s. Unbelievable. We're in the second week of March. Okay, Sunday, windy conditions, a few showers in southern Florida, then maybe a mix of sleet right along the coastal areas. Stay with us.
Senator, your mouth has amazed this panel. First, you come out in favor of Long John Silver's crunchy batter-dipped fish.
Wholeheartedly.
Then you endorse the breaded clams.
I cannot deny that.
So, Senator, which is it?
Actually, I'm making a motion for Long John's golden batter-dipped shrimp.
No matter which seafood taste you favor, you'll amaze your mouth at Long John Silver's.
And is it true that money changed hands?
Yes, but only $1.99.
Get one piece of fish, 3 shrimp, and fries, just $1.99.
Long John Silver's, America's place to go for amazing shrimp and fish.
And now, your local forecast. Accurate, up-to-date weather information for your neighborhood. Only on the Weather Channel.